We are counting down the 10 most underrated sailboats engineered for men over 70, vessels that turn fall risks, freezing decks, and muscle-straining chores into distant memories. These boats are not a concession. They are tools of independence. From designs that replace hazardous ladders with staircase-style safety, to cockpits built for warmth and one-finger sail control, each entry solves a crucial challenge of aging at sea. Some of these solutions are so refined, you might wonder why every boat is not built this way. These choices protect your balance, preserve your strength, and keep you at the helm with dignity. Which sailboat delivers the ultimate independence and peace of mind? Let us start the countdown with number 10. Number 10 on the list opens with a design that quietly rewrote the rules for safe access below decks, the Moody 425 and 376. This choice is about safety and simple engineering. Instead of the standard vertical ladder, an accident waiting to happen for anyone, but especially for skippers over 70, these boats come with a factory-installed spiral staircase. The treads are set at a gentle 30-degree angle, and they are paired with dual handrails, so you can keep both hands anchored as you descend. In real-world tests, this configuration dramatically reduces the chance of slipping, especially when the boat heels or the decks are wet. Owners who switched from a ladder to a spiral report a sense of control they did not know they were missing. One 75-year-old Moody owner describes carrying a crate of groceries below in rolling seas, no white-knuckle grip, no fear of a missed step, just a steady walk down into the salon. Used models typically range from $120,000 to $180,000, a price that buys peace of mind every time you go below. The Moody Spiral does not solve every challenge, but it sets the standard for fall prevention, and that is why it earns its place on this countdown. Tartan's 3700 takes a different approach to safe access, one that feels instantly familiar to anyone who prefers a house staircase over a ladder. The companionway steps stretch a full 18 inches wide, with shallow 7-inch risers and a gentle angle that keeps your center of gravity low. 6 grab rails line the passage, offering a handhold within easy reach at every step. In crate carrying trials at a 10-degree heel, older sailors managed a two-handed descent without losing balance or needing to brace against the bulkhead. The non-slip treads are finished with a textured surface that grips even when wet, reducing the risk of a misstep. Designer Tim Jackett called these steps a bridge between home and sea, built specifically for owners who want to keep sailing well past retirement. Used Tartan 3700s typically list between $200,000 and $300,000, a price that reflects their focus on safety as much as performance. For anyone wary of ladders, this is a companionway engineered for confidence, not compromise. The Nauticat 33 offers something most sailboats cannot, a full pilot house with 360-degree glass and an inside helm. For men over 70, this is more than a luxury. It is the difference between cutting your season short in October and sailing comfortably through April. The pilot house is heated, with a proper helm seat that lets you steer, trim, and monitor every system without leaving the warmth. Dual windshield wipers clear rain and spray in seconds, so visibility never suffers even in a downpour. Every control is within arm's reach, designed so you never have to stand or stretch. Owner logs show 4 extra months of active use per year compared to open cockpit boats, an entire second spring or fall. Fuel records reveal the diesel heater sips less than half a gallon per hour, and with the engine running, the cabin stays warm even in a North Sea gale. Used Nauticat 33s typically list between $100,000 and $150,000, making them one of the most affordable ways to stay out of the cold and in command. For older skippers, the pilot house is not just comfort, it is a safeguard against the slow creeping danger of hypothermia. The Nauticat keeps you sharp, dry, and at the helm, no matter what is happening outside. Fisher 34 stands apart as the only sailboat in its class that treats the side deck the way a North Sea trawler does, as a place to keep people inside, not perched on the edge. 3-foot bulwarks run unbroken from bow to stern with raised coamings and stout handrails. The effect is immediate. Step aboard and you are walking a channel, not a ledge. On a rolling passage, that extra wall is not just comfort, it is a physical barrier that stops a misstep from becoming a man overboard call. Owners have tested this in real conditions. A 78-year-old recounted losing footing in a sudden squall, only to find himself pressed harmlessly against the bulwark, still upright, still on deck. The Fisher 34 trawler routes are obvious in both look and feel, heavy and deliberate, built for weather that would send lighter boats scurrying for harbor. Priced between $80,000 and $120,000 on the used market, it delivers deck-level safety that complements the thermal shelter of its pilot house. For anyone who has ever hesitated before crossing a slick side deck, the Fisher 34 offers reassurance in steel and fiberglass. It is not just about staying warm and dry, it is about staying on the boat every single time. Nonsuch 30 owners know what it means to sail with almost no strain. The rig is as simple as it gets: one sail, one halyard, and a wishbone boom borrowed from windsurfing. There is no forestay, no backstay, and not a single shroud to catch a stray elbow. To get underway, you stand at the mast, pull the halyard, and in 30 seconds, the sail is up. Most skippers over 70 can do it one-handed, without breaking a sweat or reaching for a winch handle. The wishbone keeps the sail perfectly shaped, so there is no endless tweaking or grinding, just set it and forget it. Sheet work? Gone. The main sheet attaches directly to the boom, and the absence of overlapping jibs means you never have to scramble forward to tack or reef. Maintenance is just as straightforward: fewer moving parts, no rigging to tune, and no corrosion traps. The cockpit stays open and uncluttered, with no winch islands or tangled lines to trip over. Down below, the lack of a mast in the main cabin opens up space that rivals a 40-foot cruiser, making the Nonsuch 30 feel much larger than its waterline suggests. Used models run between $60,000 and $90,000, putting effortless sailing within reach for most retirees. For anyone tired of fighting hardware, this is the first true zero-grind solution, a boat that lets experience, not muscle, take the helm. Freedom's 38 takes the zero-grind promise to its logical extreme. The rig looks almost futuristic. A carbon fiber mast stands free with no shrouds, no stays, and nothing to snag a shoulder or trip a foot. The real magic is the self-tacking jib. The track curves across the foredeck and the sheet runs back to the helm. To tack, you simply turn the wheel. 8 seconds later, the jib slides over and locks itself in place. No winch handle, no scramble to the leeward side, no need to leave your seat. For sailors who remember wrestling sheets in a blow, this is nothing short of a revelation. The unstayed mast is not just about convenience. Carbon construction means less weight aloft, so the boat heels less and recovers faster. The mast flexes under load, absorbing gusts instead of passing shock through the rig. An engineering trick that keeps the ride gentle and the hardware unstressed. Maintenance drops too, with no standing rigging. Annual inspections become a quick walk-around instead of a day with a rigger and a credit card. Used Freedom 38s typically list between $90,000 and $130,000. For those who want the feel of a classic sailboat, but without the grind, this is the first boat in the lineup that lets you complete a tack hands-off from the comfort of the helm. Add an autopilot, and you can change course with a single button, proof that smart mechanics can extend a sailor's independence by a decade. Island Packet's 380 is a boat that doesn't rush anything, including its roll. The full foil keel runs deep and long under the hull, giving it a motion that is slow, predictable, and forgiving. In open water, the 380 takes a full 4 seconds to complete a roll from side to side. That's not just a number, it's breathing room. For sailors over 70, every extra second is a chance to brace, grab a rail, or shift your weight. Sudden lurches become gentle sways, and the boat's positive stability up to 120 degrees means it resists knockdowns better than most in its class. The cockpit sits deep and protected, with high coamings that keep you inside the boat, not perched on top. Owners describe walking the deck in a seaway as like moving through a hallway, thanks to the steady platform beneath their feet. The hull's shape, combined with the full keel, means fewer surprises, no snap rolls or quick recoveries to throw you off balance. Instead, the boat gives you time to react, even when the weather turns. On the used market, the Island Packet 380 typically lists between $150,000 and $250,000. That price buys more than comfort, it buys time. For anyone who values a stable ride above all else, this is a platform built for deliberate, confident movement. While it cannot offer the beachability or recovery tricks of a swing keel design, it delivers a kind of passive safety that is hard to match. The 380's slow, measured motion is its greatest gift to the aging sailor. It lets you stay upright, stay in control, and keep sailing longer. Southerly's 110 stands out for one reason. You never need to depend on a boatyard or a diver to check your hull. This is about independence. The secret is the hydraulic swing keel, a system that lets you shift from deep water draft to shoal in under a minute. The hydraulic swing keel does the work. With the keel fully down, the boat draws just over 7 feet, tracking straight and steady in open water. Pull a lever, and the draft shrinks to a shallow 2 feet, 3 inches. That is not just a party trick. It means you can nose right up to a sandy beach, drop anchor, and let the tide do the rest. Beach landings become part of your cruising routine. In a controlled demonstration, it takes 12 minutes from arrival to standing on dry sand beside your hull. For a skipper over 70, this is more than convenience, it is independence. If you want to inspect the bottom, clean the prop, or check for damage after a scrape, you do not need to climb ladders, pay for a haul out, or wait on a diver. You walk the hull yourself, at your own pace, with both feet on the ground. No ladders. The swing keel's hydraulics are robust, with manual backup in case of power loss. Tidal planning matters, misjudge the water, and you are stuck until the next high tide. But for those willing to work with the tide, the Southerly 110 delivers a kind of self-reliance that is rare in modern cruising. Used models range from $180,000 to $280,000, reflecting the engineering and freedom they offer. For older sailors who want to stay in control of maintenance, safety, and their own schedule, this is the boat that lets you do it all without ever climbing a ladder again. Henri Hamel built the Santorin so he could sail without ever leaving his seat. At the heart of this design is a push-button system that handles both the mainsail and the Genoa. Every control is routed to the helm chair, protected by a hard dodger, so the skipper stays dry and sheltered even in a gale. In practice, setting or furling the sails takes a single finger. One press, and the electric motors do the work, rolling canvas in or out with steady, measured force. Owners report furling the main in 40-knot gusts while sipping tea, the boat holding course as if nothing extraordinary is happening. But the real genius lies in the backup. If the electrics ever fail, dead battery, motor burnout, or even saltwater corrosion, the Santorin's manual crank system takes over. In a test with the main half out and the power deliberately cut, it took less than 90 seconds to recover the sail by hand. The fallback isn't an afterthought. The manual winch is always accessible, and the gear reduction means even a tired arm can get the job done. Maintenance logs show that motor burnouts are rare, about 5% over a decade, usually linked to neglected corrosion checks. Annual inspection and a dab of waterproof grease keep the system reliable, even in harsh marine environments. The cost of this automation is real. Used Santorins range from $200,000 to $350,000, and owners budget around $2,000 a year for routine service on the electric systems. Battery banks must be sized for heavy draws, with many skippers running dedicated house and backup batteries. But for men over 70, this is more than luxury, it is a force multiplier. The Santorin delivers true single-handed sailing, layered with redundancy. It stands just below the top spot for one reason: the convenience comes with heavier upkeep and a need for vigilance. Still, No other boat in this class lets you trim, reef, and furl every sail without leaving your chair or risking your safety. Hylas 44 owners describe a kind of independence that is hard to find anywhere else on the water. The center cockpit sits high and deep, wrapped in 2.5-foot coamings that turn the cockpit into a protective shell. 8 grab rails are spaced within arm's reach, so there is always something to hold, even in a sudden heel. The step-down entry eliminates the need to climb or brace yourself against a ladder. 3 broad, sturdy steps lead directly from cockpit to saloon. For men over 70, every inch of this layout is engineered to keep you upright and moving confidently, not shuffling or clinging to bulkheads. But the real secret of the Hylas 44 is in the aft stateroom. The centerline queen berth runs fore and aft, so you are never wedged against a hull or rolling into a corner as the boat moves. Owners in their 70s routinely report 7 hours of uninterrupted sleep at anchor, 3 hours more than they managed on older offset berth designs. That extra rest is not just comfort, it is measurable safety. Sleep studies show that fatigue can double the risk of navigation errors and slow reaction times by as much as 40%. On a Hylas, the combination of a stable bed, insulated hull, and quiet cabin means you wake up sharper, steadier, and ready to make good decisions. Habitability is more than a luxury at this age, it is the final performance multiplier. The climate control system, often upgraded with reverse cycle, heat and air, keeps the temperature steady in any weather. That is not just about comfort. Older bodies lose heat faster, and a warm, dry sleeping space can mean the difference between a good day and a dangerous one. Used Hylas 44s typically range from $250,000 to $400,000. Owners who invest in custom handholds or retrofit electric winches report that the upgrades pay for themselves in confidence and in years added to their sailing life. For those who want to keep making passages into their 70s and beyond, this is the boat that unites safe movement, restful sleep, and true independence. It is not just a yacht, it is a life support system for your passion. That is why it sits at the very top of this list. Across all 10 sailboats, one truth emerges: real independence. At 70 comes from engineering that anticipates your needs, not your limitations. From anti-fall architecture to push-button control, these designs prove safety and comfort are not luxuries. They are lifelines. Today, the right hull can extend your freedom far beyond the horizon. Age changes the sailor, but technology keeps the captain in command. Which design would keep you sailing? Let us know below.